It would appear concerns about TikTok were right. Internal emails reveal employees at the app's China-based parent company obtained access to Americans' private data and even used it to track journalists. But Congress just passed a new spending bill that will ban the app on government devices. So could this lead to a nationwide ban? Here to react is senior fellow at the Gatestone Institute and author of The Coming Collapse of China and the Great U.S.-China Tech War, Chang. Gordon, good morning to you and Merry Christmas. I want to get your reaction to this report that TikTok was tracking journalists. Essentially, they were concerned about journalists talking to people within TikTok, so they were actually using their IP addresses to figure out who was talking to who. Does that surprise you, and how concerned should we be about this?
Well, Merry Christmas, Carly. And no, it doesn't surprise me, because TikTok, over the course of about 2 or 3 years, have been giving assurance after assurance to the United States about data security, and they violated all of those assurances. And remember, they were tracking those journalists because they were trying to figure out who leaked to BuzzFeed. And BuzzFeed's reporting just showed dramatic transfers of data. Basically, Beijing had access to everything. People in the U.S. at TikTok didn't have access to data in the U.S. So clearly, TikTok is continuing to mine data for Beijing, and we shouldn't be surprised.
So a TikTok spokesperson is speaking out. They are saying that this was an egregious misuse of their authority. They say the misconduct of certain individuals who are no longer employed at ByteDance was an egregious misuse of their authority to obtain access to user data. We take data security incredibly seriously, and we will continue to enhance our access protocols. Do you believe that?
No, I don't. TikTok is owned by ByteDance. ByteDance, although nominally private, is a Chinese company. Every Chinese company is under a compulsion to spy. That's because of the Communist Party's top-down system, but also because of Articles 7 and 14 of China's National Intelligence Law of 2017. And so clearly, no matter what protections we try to build in, ByteDance is under that compulsion to commit espionage. So we've got to recognize that.
You know, it was TikTok, the company itself, that revealed this information that employees within the company were tracking journalists. So why would they do that? Were they just trying to be honest, or is there an ulterior motive there?
They probably knew that the FBI or the CIA or somebody knew. But the point is, these revelations have become distressingly regular. So the only way to solve this is either to ban TikTok or to force its sale to an American company, probably Oracle. And the most important thing is who controls the algorithm. The sale of TikTok in the last months of the Trump administration would have gone through, except that China insisted on controlling that algorithm, which it uses to spread disinformation and Chinese propaganda in the U.S. So this is a critical national security threat. There are two of them, data security and disinformation.
Yeah, you know, Gordon, there are a lot of lawmakers that are worried about TikTok and the national security implications there, but TikTok users in the U.S. don't seem to be. And I think it's because people are so used to social media companies tracking our keystrokes already. And a lot of people say, well, I'm just looking at funny videos. I've got nothing to hide. So what would you say to those people?
Beijing wants your data because they want to find out about you, and they want to use that to either intimidate you or blackmail you. And Beijing is not beyond that, which is the reason why we've had all of these big data thefts. You know, for instance, at the Office of Public Management, Personnel Management in the federal government, or all of the big insurance companies like Anthem. China needs your data, and they're not taking it just because they want it. This is something that, you know, Americans have got to understand, that China is an enemy, and it will use whatever means it possible to take down our government, and that means taking down people. Well,
TikTok is no longer going to be allowed on government devices, so that is a good start there. Gordon, thank you so much for joining us. Merry Christmas.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.